Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Chris Nelson. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. High airfares are putting the brakes on travel. What is the deal with the new higher costs? Also tonight, 2 are arrested and appear in local court charged with breaking and entering and stealing. And one man's quest to visit 197 countries goes through Micronesia. In sports, volleyball is elementary, and elementary, we have got you covered. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. If you feel it, come around with round. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. Everybody feel it, come around with everybody in the front. 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 Everybody round.
We knew it was time to make these when we started asking things like, wouldn't it be nice to be able to get a warm cinnamon roll right now? And why can't this kind of muffin come from the same place as a McMuffin? And isn't your coffee lonely without company from a glazed apple fritter? Well, consider these our 3 resounding yeses. Meet the new bakery sweets at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Havaday, Tirwami, and good evening, Commonwealth. It is Wednesday, March the 1st, and Chris Nelson in tonight for Sally Lemus. Our first story is about jet travel. It's the lifeblood to island tourist economies. Guam's our primary hub, but recent airfare hikes have made the 30-minute flight to Guam on par with the cost of a flight from Los Angeles to New York City. And residents, business people, and lawmakers would like to know why. Let's take a look. Why does it now cost more to fly to Guam on a jet airplane than to South Korea? It's a question that many are asking these days as recent price hikes have made Guam to Saipan airfares sky high. If you choose United States as your region on the United website, round-trip airfare between Guam and Saipan is now priced at $580, $80 more if you want some leg room, and close to $1,000 if you want to pay for business class on the 30-minute flight. If you put in Northern Mariana Islands as your region, the price drops to $380 for a basic economy fare. But in this fare, you don't get a seat assignment, frequent flyer points, and can't take a bag. If you want to bring a bag and get seat assigned in advance, the price is $480. Angie Saad manages a retail business on Saipan and Guam, flies back and forth between the islands. She says the airfares have had quite an effect on her business travel. Pre-pandemic, she was flying once per week. That went to twice a month post-pandemic, and she says she usually makes the plane bookings in advance, but in January, when she tried to book for February, it was $580 for economy. She has reduced her trips. There is a lot of history on the route. Continental Micronesia previously serviced the route in the 90s, and it was priced at $79 round trip with multiple jet departures during the day. In 2004, Cape Air joined on the route with Continental and offered 5 times daily service, including service to Rota. Prices were as low as $106 round trip and generally in the ballpark of $125. It was called Continental Connection, and the airline pledged to keep airfares low and talked about even expanding operations in Micronesia. Let's take a look back at a story and interview with Continental's Mark Irwin and Cape Air's Dan Wolf.
We've brought in Cape Air to augment the Continental service, so we'll be 7 times per day out of Saipan, either direct to Guam or via Rota. And the new introductory fare is only $106 per person, round trip.
Now, jet service, people initially when they heard the announcement were concerned that jet service was going to go away. Is that going to happen? Or?
No, right now we currently are at, went from 3 jets to 2 jets per day, and it'll be augmented with the ATR. The most important issue is to focus on the fact that the frequency will be there when the businessman and businesswoman want to travel. We'll be able to create the day trip tourist to both Guam to Saipan and also Saipan to Rota and Guam to Rota. So we will remain a jet in the marketplace.
We're going to be working on things like frequent flyer books so that people who really use the service a lot can take advantage of some discounts as well.
So they would buy like 10 trips at a time or something like that?
We have a product in some of our other regions where if you buy a coupon of 10 books, you get a good discount on it. We do not have that product to offer yet, but we are working with the folks at Continental Micronesia with hopes that we can offer either that product or something similar to it.
Could you expand service beyond the Northern Marianas?
They are. We're having some very creative and interesting discussions with the folks at Continental Micronesia to see if we might help them expand their service even further in the region. Nothing definite yet, but we are looking at that.
Which areas are you looking at going?
The folks at the Continental Micronesia would probably be able to answer that better than I would. But Tinian, we're looking at maybe some of the islands to the south, Yap, Palau, in that direction as well.
Fast forward, in 2010, Continental Airlines and United Airlines joined forces. Jet service went away, and service with Cape Air continued on ATR 42, still with multiple departures during the day. United ended that contract in 2018 with fares still in the $200 round trip range and then reintroduced jet service. In 2018, United said that the new daily 737 jet service will provide our customers in Guam and Saipan with a more reliable and comfortable customer experience. In addition, the new service will offer customers more choices of seats, namely United Business, United Economy Plus, and United Economy. But with jet service restored, service went to just once per day, and prices have risen dramatically. We took a look at April departures on United around their system. Salt Lake City to Denver, $349 round trip. Portland to San Francisco, $198 round trip. New York to Washington, D.C., $188 round trip. Chicago to Kansas City, $272 round trip. Chicago to Des Moines, Iowa, $148 round trip. Chicago to Denver, $336 round trip. The Guam to Saipan flight costs roughly the same as flying from San Francisco to Honolulu or Los Angeles to New York, flights that are up to 8 times longer, and they cost twice as much as United flights from San Francisco to Seattle or San Francisco to Los Angeles or San Francisco to Bend, Oregon. Now, airline pricing is difficult to compare, but all of these fares that we looked at were for the same period, roughly 35 days in the future from now, and for the same duration, a 4-day stay, and all on the United website under the same search conditions. Inter-island flights in Hawaii are provided by Hawaiian Airlines with competition provided by Southwest Airlines, and that's a good flight to look at because it's about 40 minutes with jet service available. Prices there are between $77 and $105 round trip on each day of the week. Glenn Wakai knows about inter-island travel. He is now a Hawaii state senator. He previously worked in Micronesia as a news anchor.
You know a lot about Micronesia. Comments on the pricing scheme?
The fact that United is charging north of $500 for a half-hour trip from Saipan to Guam is ridiculous. I mean, for $700, I can go from Hawaii to Los Angeles. And if I wanted to go from Oahu to Maui today, it's probably about $80 for a trip there. So how in the world can a half-hour flight to the CNMI from Guam be that expensive?
All right, Glenn Wakai there commenting from Hawaii today. We did reach out to United for this story and are still awaiting a response. The MVA board met today in a special meeting aimed at addressing headquarter finances.
The ARPA funds, which pretty much funds our personnel, we're now basing our funds for FY23 based on cash position.
MVA has cut spending plans, but is planning to hold signature events this year like the Taste of the Marianas and the Hell of the Marianas bike race, as well as planning on holding the Saipan Marathon in the future. That could happen early next year. The Visitors Authority is currently accepting applications for a managing director and also looking for new, cheaper office space. Judy Torres is the acting managing director. Gloria Kavanaugh is the acting board chair. Board member Viola Alapujo resigned last month, as did director Tom Liu. Two appear in local court this morning after being arrested for breaking into a home and stealing a number of items, including electronics and clothes. Police arrested Mark Benavente and Josephine Pangilinan after executing a search warrant. The pair were in court this morning, and bail was set at $10,000 in cash. Police think the pair broke into a house and stole a variety of items. A caretaker told police he noticed a green minivan belonging to Benavente parked outside of the house he was taking care of for a couple of days. Didn't think much of it until discovering the break-in and the missing items. Police found a number of those items at the suspect's residence. Preliminary hearing has been set for March the 8th. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we are going to visit with a Turkish traveler who is attempting to see every country in the world. We'll have more news next.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle. Welcome back. You're watching the Wednesday night edition of the Channel 2 News, and we have more tonight with a former math teacher and his quest to visit all 197 countries in the world. I sat down with him just outside of Gate 13 at the Guam International Airport. Murat Fasisi is a former high school math teacher from Turkey with a love of numbers. His favorite number? 197. That's the number of countries in the world. 193 UN members, 2 observer countries, and Taiwan and Kosovo. And he's been on a quest to visit all of them. Now I'm going to ask you the question probably everyone who hears your story asks you, which is, what was your favorite country so far?
It is asked many times to me. I cannot compare the countries, like I like much more, but I like the mountain countries like in Nepal, Bolivia, and Laos, because I think these people knows how to share because of the difficult days they are living, because of the snow and the floods and everything. They know the importance of the neighbors and the people around them. That's why they know to share. The seaside people are a bit lazy and they look for money. And that's why I like the mountain countries.
Most of his travel experiences have been good. However, he got a camera stolen in China, and another time he was pickpocketed in Thailand.
My money is stolen, and there was a Thai girl who sit in our table at that night. Then the wife of a Frenchman, the Thai girl, said, how much you lost? I said about $2,000 I had in the wallet, and it is gone.
They had just the one suspect, and so they decided to track her down. So Murat, the Turk, a Frenchman, and the Frenchman's Thai girlfriend gave chase. Sounds like the setup for a joke, but this was no joke. It did turn into a serious walkabout.
With that Thai girl and a Frenchman, we followed about 10 days after that money. We went from Bangkok that we learned that girl stole the money, has an Australian boyfriend. They went together to the Chang Island. Then we went to the Chang Island. We published, we printed a paper that we give a award if you see that girl. We found a photo of the girl also from the police station. And we write a 5,000 baht award if you find it. We give it to all the hotels. Then some people called us. We went, they said, okay, they passed to the Kopangan. Then we passed to the Kopangan, do it again, and 10 days we followed that girl. 10 days later, we catch her in Bangkok again.
Half the money was gone, but Murat says the 10 days he spent chasing down the suspect and his money was an adventure that he won't soon forget. And while he was out about $1,100, he got his money's worth. In Micronesia, Murat visited Palau, spent a couple of days in Guam, not a country, and then spent 4 days in Ponape before heading to the Marshall Islands, Kiribati, and Tonga. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News. All right, thanks, Chris. March is CNMI Women's Month. Let's head now to the indoor theater at the American Memorial Park for a presentation that happened just this afternoon.
March is dedicated for recognizing women in history, in their contributions and accomplishments, and their success.
We are individuals, daughters, sisters, mothers, bosses, public servants, first responders, entrepreneurs, and so much more. So many women carry these roles and wear all these many hats, and they always carry those they love on their shoulders without even feeling the weight on their knees or the burden that it might cause. All these thoughts ran through my head as I was feeling defeated and broken. I've always been a strong-willed, determined, motivated young woman. So I knew that I had to remove these thoughts and just alter my plans to ensure that I was still going to become somebody. Throughout all of these trials, tribulations, and successes, I had to learn about myself, teach myself, and help myself adapt to these changes. Lucky me, I have 3 little ladies who look up to me, watch my every move, and ask non-stop questions about life. I'm raising my daughters to know that anything a man can do, they can do too, maybe even better. Do not lose sight of who you are or who you believe you were meant to be. Sometimes our lives are disrupted because a future that we do not anticipate is finding its way into our lives. We should never give up on our dreams, and it should never be forgotten.
I was inspired this morning and I said, who am I to complain about the time, about the challenges that I'm facing every day at work? I have no reason to be complaining because people are inspired by their own stories, by their stories. I was inspired by their stories. So I have nothing to complain about. They had to navigate the route longer than I probably had. They decided to take a different route. And today we listened to Crystal, and she had to take the longer path to where she wanted to go.
I just want to say, guys, be careful. Pretty soon I'm going to be working at home. Let me tell you, these women are working very hard in the profession or whatever they do, you know, in government, private sectors and all that. And, you know, thank you, ladies, for coming out, helping out in the community, bringing up our economy. You guys are all over the place. So guys, be careful. don't do anything that's not right. They're right behind you.
CWA has always withstood with its main mission and goal, and that is to continue to encourage our women with talents, including our mothers at home. Talents as simple to others, or it may seem, to bring not only continuance in preserving our culture, but bringing our beauty out and making that extra effort and profit to raise the family that we have at home.
All right, some lighthearted moments and some emotional moments this afternoon. That was at the American Memorial Park Visitor Center, 31 days in March, which is fitting for the CNMI Women's Month. We're going to take a break and come back with sports next.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Bring your friends in for the best night out at Godfather's Bar in Garabin. Sing along to your favorite hits with live music from the Gigolos. Godfather's has daily food and drink specials like Taco Tuesdays. And the best pizza on island every day of the week. Located on Palm Street in Garabin.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
All right, Buenas sports fans. The Umongs, or hermit crabs rather, in English, win this year's PSS Co-Ed Volleyball Championship. The unbeatable Coblerville Elementary School team number 1 successfully made it to the finals and winning the championships in elementary division during the Namiva PSS Interscholastic Volleyball League on Saturday at the Olei Sports Complex. The Umangs dominated the championship game by beating Cagman Elementary School with a score of 21 points against just 5 from the Blue Marlins. Prior to the title match, the Umangs had to face another strong team from William S. Regis Elementary School, team number 1. The Umangs won the match by just 2 points, requiring an overtime excursion. The Umangs also defeated another unbeatable team, the Garapan Elementary School, team number 1, during the elimination round on Friday with a score of 21-10 against the Mallards. Umangs coach Francis Mendiola is ecstatic, gives all the credit to his players for winning the title this year.
it was good. The players did. I gave the players all the credit for that. As coaches, we just prepare them, and it's up to them to take it in. They're happy about it. If they're happy, I'm happy. The coaches are happy about it.
Umangs took this tournament seriously and started training after coming back from their Christmas break in January.
We started in when they came back from Christmas break. We asked Nick's PSS to help line the field for us, and then since then we start practicing basics, serving, bump, and the rule of the game.
They may be undefeated, but facing the WSR was a very challenging game for them.
The toughest team was against the quarterfinals against WSR. We went overtime with them. It's the first game on the championship weekend, and the kids were just nervous. So I think that's the toughest one. It's 22-20 the game, yeah.
And here are the highlights from this year's PSS Co-Ed Volleyball Tournament. Here's some words from the man in charge himself, Mr. Nick Gross.
Well, I tell you, as far as this event in particular, our elementary volleyball, it was a fantastic season. Played out over 4 or 5 weeks that we've done Friday nights under the lights, and finally concluding with this 2-day double elimination tournament that started last night, Friday, and concluded just now with the Cobblerville Umang getting the win. Fantastic season and a great future for volleyball in the CNMI. I think, we had ended up with 20 total teams representing 13 schools on all 3 islands for a total of 230 kids in the 12 and under range. And that's just a testament to the community getting behind what we're doing and making sure that our kids have access to these really important sporting programs. And I applaud the CNMI for coming out and supporting it. It was a great tournament. Narrowed all the way down from 20 to 1 team standing, and that was Cobblerville, pulling it off undefeated throughout the tournament, and congratulations to them and their coaching staff. And Cagman, I think nobody necessarily saw Cagman coming up and getting 2nd place, and congratulations to the Blue Marlins. But really just a great tournament, and seeing the emotions of sport is a lot of what we do it for. There was so many tears here that you couldn't tell sometimes if they were happy or if they were defeated, but this is really that social emotional learning that we speak of in the public school system. I think this is really a good way to encompass it.
With all different sports happening right now under his command, Gross is very thankful to NMSA and its members for supporting PSS sports programs.
Well, the organization of it is, that's certainly what we do in athletic programs, is work on being able to provide all of these opportunities. But none of it would be possible without our partnerships through the Northern Mariana Sports Association and its membership. Annually, we get together with all of the different sport federations and drop MOUs and figure out how we can complement each other. As athletic programs, we're a staff of 4 entirely as a program, and so there's really no chance that we can be the ones officiating and setting up and breaking down and doing every part of it. And so we rely on those partnerships and the support of the member federations. And so, today we have badminton with NMBA happening inside Ada Gym. We've got the Paddle Association and our outrigger going on across the beach at Kalili. Last night we had the Basketball Federation and our boys high school basketball going on, and then the support of the Volleyball Association here. That's what makes it all happen, is those partnerships in a small community with all of our different supporting partners. And so we're just so thankful for the continuing support and partnership of those sporting federations.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to go over the cable lat pull down. Now what we want to remember with machine-based exercises, there's really no right or wrong way of doing it. There's multiple ways of executing the exercise. What you'll often see is lifters executing the exercise in this fashion, and instead of working the muscles of your upper back, you're just irritating the shoulder joint, which is what you don't want. All right, let's clean that up a little bit. Let's sit upright a little bit more. Okay, as you get a full stretch, bring it down with your elbows coming in. So in general, as you set up this way, you're going to be feeling majority of the impulse right here, which is your lats. Okay. He's getting a full stretch and he's getting a full squeeze in the bottom.
All right, going to give you a super quick weather report. It's beautiful out there, folks. It is windy, though. There is a bit of a high surf, so be careful around reef lines. Sunrise at 6:34 a.m., sunset 6:24 p.m. just a few minutes ago, and a low tide tonight at 10 p.m. That's going to do it for us here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday night at 6 right here on Channel 2. Good night.